Welcome to Learn and Success, where we help you speak real. Everyday English with confidence. In today's episode, we're talking about a common social situation, cutting in line or jumping the queue. You'll learn how to politely express frustration, talk about fairness, and handle conversations in public spaces, all in natural English. Let's line up some useful phrases only on Learn and Success.
Have you ever been there, exhausted, maybe running late, stuck in a line that feels like it goes on forever,
Yeah.
and then someone just brazenly cuts right in front?
Oh, absolutely. That feel.
It's that universal gut punch feeling, right?
Yeah.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into exactly that uniquely frustrating experience, cutting in line.
Mm-hmm.
And this deep dive, it's really tailored for you. We're drawing from some fascinating sources that unpack not just the definition, but the really surprising social, even cultural stuff behind it all.
Exactly. That's the mission, really. We
Yeah.
want to go beyond just, defining cutting in line. We're aiming to explore why. Why does something that seems so simple spark such strong reactions?
Yeah.
And we'll connect it to these broader social expectations, maybe even different cultural takes on it. We'll dig into the language, too, the specific words people use, because that tells you a lot about these deep-seated social norms.
Okay, yeah, let's dive right in, though. Let's use a scene from our sources to really unpack it. So picture this. An airport. There's a couple, and they're just radiating frustration.
Travel stress.
Right? We've all been there.
Totally. The husband's clearly had it. He bursts out, "I can't believe it took us 2 hours to get here. The traffic in New York is unbelievable." And he's looking at this line that he says must be a mile long.
Wow.
Convinced, there's no way I'm waiting for another 2 hours. And then, he tries to cut in. And the source even hints this could get physical. The tension is just thick.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that language, it's so revealing. Like when he says unbelievable,
Right.
doesn't mean amazing. It's pure outrage.
Yeah.
Intense frustration. It's like he's rejecting the reality of the situation. It almost sets the stage for the conflict, that level of exasperation.
So it's less about the traffic itself and more about his reaction, his feeling of injustice. Like a rhetorical flare gun showing how fed up he is. Exactly. And then his wife tries to, smooth things over. She says, in a few hours, we'll be in Hawaii and you'll be on the golf course.
That's interesting, that specific phrasing about future location.
Yeah, it's a really common conversational strategy, isn't it? Projecting into a better future place, like saying, I'll be in the office tomorrow. It just highlights that tension, that in the way the awful present versus the desired future.
Mm-hmm.
And then bang, he looks at the line again and says, it must be a mile long.
Which obviously isn't literal.
Not at all. It's pure emotion. It's his despair talking. It makes the wait feel impossible, huge, which in his mind justifies not waiting.
Right, which leads straight to there's no way. That phrase feels so final. What's the significance there?
Well, there's no way. It's more than just saying it's impossible. It's like an absolute refusal. I refuse to accept this possibility for me. Think about how we use it, right? There's no way I can finish this today, or there's no way we'll get a seat. It signals this non-negotiable boundary. It's almost desperate, which really cements his decision to act, to cut in.
Okay, so that brings us right to the core action. Cut in line.
Yep. Simple definition. Someone gets in front of you when you're waiting your turn.
And the sources give some good, relatable examples, like asking politely, "Can I cut in line, please?" Which feels pretty rare.
Very rare. More common is the feeling behind, I hate it when people cut in line at the bank. It's so rude.
Yeah. But then there's that fascinating exception they mention. It's okay when a pregnant woman cuts in line.
And that's key, isn't it? It shows it's not just a rigid rule. It's more like a social contract, flexible with these implicit exceptions based on, perceived need or vulnerability.
That's a really good point. It's a flexible social understanding. And when that understanding gets trampled on, especially rudely, like in the airport scenario, that's when we get the phrase, sue me. What's really going on with sue me? It's obviously not about lawyers.
Oh, absolutely not. It's pure performance. It's defiance. A really rude, aggressive way of saying, I know I broke the rule, I don't care what you think, and you can't do anything about it.
Wow.
It just throws down the gauntlet.
Right.
It strips away any politeness and just dares the other person to react. It's heading straight for conflict.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Moving from that kind of raw confrontation to how different cultures handle these same ingrained rules.
Right.
Because our source material brings in someone from England, and they have their own phrase for it. Jump the queue.
Jump the queue, yes. And this immediately flags a potentially significant cultural difference in how orderliness is valued.
How so?
Well, the source is quite explicit. It says queuing is very important in England. And apparently we're very proud of our queues.
Proud of queues. Okay.
Yeah. So jumping the queue isn't just annoying. It's seen as a real breach of sort of social decorum. The reaction can be quite serious, though maybe not always confrontational in the same way.
What does that look like then?
Well, you might hear audible putts. You know that sound?
Disapproval.
Exactly, making it very obvious they disapprove. Sometimes someone might perhaps say something, but often it's this collective, silent judgment, a social shaming almost.
So less likely to be an immediate shouting match, perhaps. More social pressure.
It can be, yeah. Think about the London Underground escalators example they give.
Oh, yeah, the stand on the right, walk on the left rule. It's famous.
It is, and it's treated almost like law. It's not just a suggestion. It's this deeply ingrained regulation, part of the social fabric. It shows how these aren't just casual lines. They're structured systems with expected behaviors.
But is the feeling behind it that different? Is it still fundamentally about fairness being violated, whether it's in London or New York?
That's a great question. I think the underlying sense of injustice is probably similar. Both cultures react negatively, but the way they react, the typical confrontation style, might differ. The American example leans towards direct verbal, maybe even physical challenge.
Right, like the source saying in New York, someone is going to say something and probably end up in a fight if the guy is rude.
Whereas in England, while direct confrontation definitely happens, there's also this strong tradition of using subtle signals, the tuts, the pointed looks, using social pressure as the enforcement mechanism.
Interesting. So different tools for policing the same basic rule.
You could put it that way. And this British queuing thing, it goes even further than just formal lines.
Really?
Yeah, the source gives this amazing example. Queuing even for vegetables in the supermarket.
Queuing for vegetables, how does that work?
It means if you're picking out, say, tomatoes, someone else wanting tomatoes will actually wait until you're finished. They won't just reach around you.
Wow. That's
It is. It's not an official queue, obviously,
No.
but it's rooted in this deep sense of courtesy, the principle of letting someone go before you, respecting their turn, their moment, even in that small interaction.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener, just going about your day?
Yeah.
I mean, these examples from that intense airport scene to quietly waiting for cucumbers in England, they really highlight something quite profound, don't they? These subtle, powerful, unwritten rules that kind of govern how we interact. Even in something as mundane as waiting your turn, there's this whole complex web of expectations.
Expectations about fairness, about respect, about how we share public space, a communal order, really.
Yeah. And when those expectations are broken, it can trigger these surprisingly strong feelings.
Definitely.
So just to recap briefly, we've unpacked this whole idea of cutting in line or jumping the queue. We've looked at the words people use when they're frustrated, like unbelievable or defiant, like sue me. And we've seen how the simple act of waiting your turn taps into these really deep cultural norms, showing quite different reactions and levels of queue consciousness, maybe, in places like New York versus England. It's simple, yet surprisingly complex.
It really is. And maybe here's something to think about as you go about your week. Consider how these unwritten rules, these queuing conventions, might reflect broader values in your own community. Things like fairness, respect, maybe efficiency or social harmony.
How so?
Well, just try observing those everyday interactions. The little pauses people take, the way someone might step back to let someone else go first at a doorway, or conversely, the subtle tension when someone doesn't. Do you see mostly courtesy? Or quiet standoffs, or maybe more overt confrontations. Paying attention might offer this unique little window, into the social fabric right around you, revealing those hidden currents that shape our daily lives, all sparked by who goes next.